Namo Namaha. Today we are going to see set, that is group of something. So let us see.
What is a set? How do we write it? Is there any operation? Let us check out. Let us see what is the set first. Set is a group of well-defined objects. Now that word well-defined is very much important. You have to know well-defined words, and then you can write it and we can say it set. Now let us take one example to understand this, and that example is group of clever people in your area. Now how will you find out clever people? One is less clever, other is more clever? No. So we can't well define it, and so we can't group them and write them down. So we should know which is well defined, and that is a set. The set is a group of well defined objects. Now let us see how can we write it. There are some methods to write it down. The first method is roster method. Now what is the roster method? We enlist the elements with braces. We write down or list them, the elements, in a brace, and that is called roster method. Very good example for this is vowels, set of vowels in English. So we firstly write A is equal to braces, and then A, E, I, O, U. So this is the set. Now there are some convention how to write them. The first convention is the order is not important. When you write down or list them, the order is not important. Now let us take one example for it, and that example is the set of integers from 1.5 to 4.25. Now we'll write down the integers. So we write down B is equal to, after 1.5 there comes 2, 3, 4. But that is not mandatory to write down 2, 3, 4. You can write down 4, 3, 2, 2, 4, 3. Anyway, you can write it down. So that is important. The order is not important. Now another convention comes with that, and that is every element at once. Every element at once. That means we'll write down only one element at a time. The set of letters in a word mathematics. So let us write it down. C is equal to, the letters are M, A, T, H, E. Then again comes M, so we are not going to write it down. And then comes A, not again, so we are not writing them again and again. Then I, C, S. So the letters are not repeated, so that is important. Now let us go to the next method of writing it down, and that method is set builder form. Now in set builder form, we write down the common properties. We write it down like this: X such that X has a property. It can be wrote both ways. Now let us take one example of it. Let us see the integers. Set of integers. Then we write down Z, and then all the things. Now what are the integers? There are many integers, negative integers, positive integers. So when we go to write down negative integers and positive integers, there are many integers. How to write them down? So we write down the common property, and then common property is z is equal to x such that x is a integer. That is simple way to write it down. Let us take another example, rational numbers. How to write down the rational numbers? Q is equal to braces in A upon B such that A belongs to Z and that B is not equal to C. Now let us see the last and easiest method of writing sets down, and that method is Venn diagram. As the name suggests, we draw a diagram and then write down the elements. Suppose we write down the circle and then we write down the elements. We can write down rectangle and then elements. We can also write down triangle and the elements on it. So that one is easy method. So these are all the methods. Today we learnt about writing them down. In the next video we'll learn the types of set and their operations. Thank you for watching.